Light her up!
This is Michael Lewis, former New Orleans Saints point and kick returner. You're watching WGS-TV.
Hello everyone, welcome to another installment of WGS-TV right here on YouTube.com/WrestleGamer. I'm Double B Billy Boudreaux, being joined by the host of Hardcore Wrestling Radio, which can be heard every Wednesday night on blogtalkradio.com/Hardcore Wrestling Radio. It's the illuminous one, the shining star, Rick Star. Rick, how are you shining today?
Doing alright, Billy. Thanks for having me.
Well, we're going to talk about last night's Monday Night Raw for the week of April 15th, 2013. We open up this week's Monday Night Raw with a 2-on-1 handicap match. Basically, they've taken the main event from Friday Night SmackDown and made it the opening match for Monday Night Raw. Now normally, I would have a problem with this, but considering how well the match was worked, I thought it was very well done. Considering, you got three former world champions in your opening match, Randy Orton, Sheamus, and Big Show. And I thought it was very well done. I think they're just trying to maybe have a conclusion maybe to the storyline between these three. So I think that's probably why they redid the match. The finish of it came with Sheamus connecting with a bro kick, followed up with Randy Orton connected with an RKO. Big Show gets pinned for the 1-2-3. In essence, I thought this was I don't want to say amazing opening match, but I thought it was a very decent opening match for Monday Night Raw. So I'm going to go ahead and give it a 4 out of 5. Now, in retrospect to Friday Night SmackDown, we saw Triple H talking about his matchup from WrestleMania when he gets interrupted by 3MB. 3MB looking to make a name for themselves, and they figured, what better way to make a name for themselves than taking out the game, Triple H. So before they had the opportunity to do that, they got cut off by the Shield, which kind of confused a lot of people because, the 3MB has another heel gimmick, and they were going after another heel group. So it really didn't make any sense at the time. So to answer what happened on Friday Night SmackDown, 3MB was going to call out the Shield because of what happened, and the Shield did not come out, and in fact, it was Brock Lesnar who came out, and Lesnar just tore 3MB apart. And we're going to salute Heath Slater because he took two amazing bumps on the outside, two F5s, which really looked like he might have effed up his knees, but Slater sold it perfectly, and he did an amazing job. Now, I don't know if they're going to be writing off Slater for a few weeks. Who knows? Maybe that's something we can talk about on a later video. But now, to the main point of what was going on here, apparently now Paul Heyman and Lesnar said, you know what? The score is now 1-1. It's time for the rubber match at Extreme Rules. And when Paul Heyman says it, you kind of feel like there should be a patent on the word extreme because of his days with ECW. But he's proposing a match between Lesnar and Triple H in a steel cage match, and I think a lot of fans might want to see that, but again, that also might be another topic for a video coming up later here on WGS-TV with what you guys might think. But when you have Paul Heyman cutting a promo, it is just absolutely wonderful. Heyman's got to be considered to be one of the best talkers in the wrestling industry, and you know what? I have to agree with people. So I'm going to go ahead and give it a 4.5 out of 5. Rick, I'm going to kick it over to you because you wanted to talk about this. The United States Championship was on the line as Antonio Cesaro defended the title against Kofi Kingston.
So right now, Antonio Cesaro came down to the ring yodeling, which was... I had no idea what he was doing, but I knew pretty much what's going to happen in this match. He was going to lose, what he's been doing for the past couple of months on a really bad losing streak. In fact, he wasn't even at WrestleMania, which I thought was pretty much a disgrace to both the U.S. title and Cesaro, because I really have been a fan of him over the past couple of months. But anyways, make a long story short, it was a great match, but the outcome was obvious. Kofi Kingston did get the win with the Trouble in Paradise. The next today after Cesaro did make a statement and said that he was happy for Kofi, and he said that he was glad that he brought Honor back to the U.S. title. So the match was only a 3 out of 5.
To close out the first hour of Monday Night Raw last night, WWE replayed Dolph Ziggler cashing in his Money in the Bank contract on Alberto Del Rio and becoming the new World Heavyweight Champion. So, we already had one follow-up promo with him on Friday Night SmackDown. The crowd was kind of yay and nay about Dolph Ziggler being the World Heavyweight Champion. So Ziggler came out to cut another promo, not as big as of a fan reaction as he did in East Rutherford, New Jersey, but Ziggler still came out to cut a promo. Del Rio then comes out and wants his rematch, who then get interrupted by Zeb Coulter, the guy with the walking handlebars for a mustache, and Jack Swagger. And before even the matchup could get underway, Swagger starts going after Alberto Del Rio, goes after the injured knee, and then on the outside gives him the Patriot lock. So therefore, kind of destroying any chance of Del Rio and Ziggler having a one-on-one match for the World Heavyweight Championship. Now, at that point in time, we were kind of speculating about, how they're going to be using the World Heavyweight title, and I want to say right now, at this point in time in the show, the big speculation that we were having, and that was me, Rick Starr, and the Stelling Man Ashley, is it's gotta be in a triple threat match. But how are they gonna put this together? How are they gonna do it? Well, we're gonna tell you a little bit later in the review how they did it. As far as the promo is concerned with Ziggler and Del Rio, I really have got nothing bad to say about it. 4 out of 5 on that. The tag team champions, well, before they had the matchup with the tag team champions, they actually made the announcement that for next week's Monday Night Raw, we're going to have a 6-man tag. The Undertaker teams up with Team Hell No, or you could kind of say the Brothers of Destruction and Daniel Bryan, but whatever you say, it's still the same thing. It's Undertaker, Kane, and Daniel Bryan taking on the Shield. Now, with the upcoming match of Team Hell No taking on the Primetime Players, my initial thoughts were we were going to have a run-in by the Shield. If you want to play off the storyline of having Team Hell No going against the Shield, it would have made sense for them to, I would think, to kind of have them interfere, but you didn't see that. But what we saw was a very good tag match. The finish of the match came with Kane hitting the choke slam on Darren Young, followed up by the Flying Goat, Flying Goat, Daniel Bryan hitting the flying headbutt on Darren Young. They get the victory. Good tag match. Can't see nothing bad about it. 4 out of 5. Now, we have Ryback's promo. Now, Ryback was answering his actions against John Cena for his attack last week on Monday Night Raw. Now, the Ryback gimmick really hasn't been known as a very promo-heavy gimmick. He's not really known for talking. So, to me, this was kind of a test of his mic skills. His speaking ability. Can Ryback cut it on the microphone as well as doing it in the ring? We've seen him do it in the ring, even though a lot of people will attest to that not being true. But can he cut a good, decent promo? And in essence, I believe this was a good, decent promo. Now Ryback, trying to play off the heel gimmick, was making excuses with John Cena not being there for him when the Shield was attacking him. Kind of blaming John Cena for all of his trials and his tribulations ever since he came into the WWE. And so he decided that, that he wasn't going to be doing that anymore. And if John Cena is the Superman of the WWE, then Ryback was the kryptonite. And he was calling himself the biggest threat to Cena's WWE title reign. Can that hold up? Can that be true? Only time will tell, as far as I'm concerned. As far as Ryback's promo is concerned, like I said, I was actually quite impressed with his talking skills in this promo. They must have really worked with them in essence to this. So I really have nothing bad to say about it, honestly. I'm going to go 4 out of 5 on this one. Rick, I want to kick it over to you next and to talk about what a lot of people, or what I could truly consider to be the big curveball of the night on Monday Night Raw.
You're talking about the Fandango, what I call the Fandango flop.
No, the Intercontinental Championship match between, well, the Intercontinental Champion Wade Barrett taking on R-Truth.
Oh, my mistake. I was on the wrong segment. Yes, that was a great match. And a lot of people, both you and I thought, it was like, hey, we honestly thought that Wade Barrett
Whoop, whoop.
was,
Jobber alert, jobber alert. Whoop.
yeah, we had both thought that Wade Barrett was going to win that match. Hands down. Then all of a sudden, Wade Barrett goes from the wins to change. And what happens, R-Truth reverses it into the, into the lie detector, gets the win. And holy shit, everybody's shocked, including Wade Barrett. He's like, what the hell just happened? I think even the ref was like, wait a minute, hold on, did he just win? Yeah, but it was a great match. It was, and again, I read on the news, according to the dirt sheets today, that even Wade Barrett said that he's going to give R-Truth a title shot next week.
I think I was shocked. You were shocked. The crowd. At the end of the match, they were shocked because, we were looking at him, and in fact, I don't think it was the fact that they didn't have a response. I just don't think the fans knew how to respond to R-Truth defeating Wade Barrett on Monday Night Raw. How would you score that, Rick?
Just on the shock value, I gotta give it a 3.5 out of 5 because again. It's not that I don't think that R-Truth doesn't have the talent, because he does. Because for the longest time, he's just been jobbing and jobbing and jobbing. But apparently he's been coming. Maybe he's been coming out of that rut. Time will tell.
Time will tell. Next up, we had Santino Marella teaming up with the Great Khali to take on the Studley Man Ashley's favorite tag team of all time in Team Rhodes Scholars. Now, if you want to talk about Java Alert for Santino Marella and Great Khali, I guess I would have to technically apply to them. The finish of the match came, apparently Hornswoggle decided he had his own little version of the Cobra, and Cody Rhodes was taking offense to that, so he was kind of confronting him on the outside. And then Great Khali confronts Cody Rhodes about that, which causes a distraction for Santino Marella. He's distracted by all the goings-on the outside, which Damian Sandow simply schoolboys and rolls up Santino Marella and gets the victory for his team. Pretty much cut and dry. Really can't say anything else about it. It's 3.5 out of 5. But up next, Rick, we had what a lot of people considered the Fandango and Craze, or as you called it, the Fandango flop.
And it pretty much was that. Jerry the King Lawler came out and he was, showing the promos how everybody on Vans and all the media was like, doing the Fandango dance and singing along. And last week, it really was. Everybody was going crazy, but I think it was the week after WrestleMania, the crowds, and let's face it, the crowds themselves on Raw were just Ari. They were nuts. And it had, I think they just went along with the Fandango music. So that was just my guess. And, I think the WWE caught on a little bit too early. But hey, when you see something, you got to grab it and you got to reach for it. And that was a great idea. Don't get me wrong. So, so Fandango comes out and he starts trying to do his little dance, and he asks Jerry to do, to swing his little hips. And Jerry's like, I'm going to swing my hips right back to the, right to the desk. See you later. Which, I would have done the same thing. So he tries to say, so would you like to go Fandangoing with me? And I think maybe 25 to 30% of the people started, doing the Fandangoing, if that was it. And those were mostly the marks. Let's be realistic. I don't think if that was it. If the rest of them were just like, yeah, right. I mean, you saw the pictures in the crowds, and the cameras were just trying to get the shot, the close-ins of the people, and the people next to them were like, are you crazy? I ain't doing this shit. So, and then he goes, well, you can all go Fandango yourself, and he walked off.
Well, one thing I really want to see him do is play off more of the Fandango craze, but I didn't see as much of it as I wanted to be honest with you. How would you grade how would you score the segment, Rick?
Unfortunately, because it was such a because the fans didn't get into it, and I don't think he really did. Like I said, it was kind of a flop. So I got to give it more like a 2.75. I can't even give it a 3.
Well, earlier in the night, Teddy Long set up the matchup between Jack Swagger and Dolph Ziggler. And Swagger wins, he'll get a World Heavyweight Championship match. Now, You want to talk about a match that the fans just really didn't give a shit about? It was this one, because we had heel versus heel, but surprisingly, we had a clean finish. The finish of the match came. Jack Swagger had Dolph Ziggler up from a powerbomb position and dropped him via the hot shot style across the top rope, and then Swagger rolled him up and got the win. Now, how would WWE play this off to possibly make it a triple threat match? Well, here's one thing that actually heavily influenced that. You had Alberto Del Rio come out and just basically kick the shit out of Jack Swagger and actually do the cross arm breaker across the bottom of the stage area. So basically now you got Del Rio with a bad knee, and from what it looks like now, we have Jack Swagger with a possibly bad arm. But now following that, we had a segment backstage with Booker T and Teddy Long. Booker T not very happy with the antics of Teddy Long as of late, but now decides to make this a triple threat match where Dolph Ziggler will be defending the World Heavyweight title against both Swagger and Alberto Del Rio, and most likely we would see that at Extreme Rules. The matchup in itself and the post-match activities, I gotta go 4 out of 5 on it because I really don't see anything wrong with it. I didn't think it was bad. I just think the crowd just really didn't care for it too much. Rick, up next, we had the return of CM Punk from his matchup at WrestleMania, and this was a very unique promo, was it not?
Yeah, it was. I have to say, this was probably CM Punk usually comes out very, very flamboyant. He usually, is in your face or very, very arrogant. This was not. He came out and for about a good for about 30 minutes, he said nothing, absolutely nothing. No, 30 minutes and 30 seconds to a minute. Said nothing. I said 30 minutes. I said, no, that would have been half the show. Quarter of the show. So, no, forgive me. Sorry, guys. That's my dyslexia kicking in there. Anyway, making a long story short, he finally did, and he was talking about when he first got the title, how much he loved it, and when he started looking around the corner, he really, really, he didn't know he wanted that next, that next challenge. So, Billy, I'm going to kick it off to you, but, what did you think?
Well, for one thing, we did notice CM Punk kind of noticeably limping on his way because, it was been kind of reported of CM Punk's nagging knee injuries. And one thing we probably needed to see was a way for CM Punk to kind of walk off and take some time off and to let those injuries heal and let his body heal. And a lot of people can possibly interpret his actions at at Monday Night Raw as that. Now, a lot of people, they're jumping the gun. They're calling it a retirement. And guys, let's just make this real clear. CM Punk is not that old. I think he's in his late 20s to his early 30s. He's not as old as Jericho. He's not as old as Sting, Flair, Foley, and all those guys. No, he is not in that age group. He's not in that age category. But so I think I'm not going to say I'm calling this not a retirement, but possibly CM Punk's way for him to take some time off. But in true CM Punk fashion, he played it off beautifully. He played off the crowd wonderfully, and I thought this was a great way for him to walk off and take some time off. I got to go 4 out of 5.
I agree with you 100%, Billy. That was just his exit with leaving the people. What's he doing? Absolutely.
Final matchup on Monday Night Raw this week, we saw Caitlyn, the Divas champion, taking on Nikki Bella along with Brie Bella. So nice. We see them twice. And it was a very decent match for one thing, considering it's the Bellas, who are normally the Bocce Bellas. They did try pulling off a little bit of twin magic, but with a certain size differential between the two, I'm going to leave you guys up to your imagination as to what I'm actually talking about. But Brie Bella comes in and then gets the win. But technically, it's still a win for Nikki Bella because the referee couldn't tell the difference. But with the certain size differential between Nikki and Brie Bella, where is the referee? And I think you might need bifocals to kind of see what the difference is between Nikki and Brie Bella. And again, I'm not going to state the obvious if you guys don't know what I'm talking about. Where have you been?
Oh no, I think he doesn't need bifocals. I think he was just focusing on one thing at the moment.
Yeah, I wonder if the referee has a certain affinity for silicone. That's all I'm gonna say. Can't say nothing too bad about the match. I have to go 3.5 out of 5. Now, the big finale of Monday Night Raw this week, it was John Cena's confrontation with Ryback. Ryback apparently turning heel. Cena wanted to confront Ryback about some of the things he said in his promo, kind of with Ryback blaming John Cena for all of his trials and tribulations in the WWE, with Cena not being there for him when the Shield attacked him, but whenever the Shield would attack Cena, Ryback was there for him. So Cena gets in his face. You know what you say? You want to make a move for the WWE Championship? Make one, and believe you me, in true typical heel fashion, if you want to turn heel in the WWE, one of the things you have to do is deny the fans what they want. And what the fans wanted last night was a confrontation, a fight between John Cena and Ryback. And Ryback deprived the fans of that fight. And I believe that did a lot more for the heel turn and the storyline of Ryback and Cena. But what was really kind of interesting, it is something that's still, kind of debatable and kind of left up to question, is whether or not this was a botch. Because the one I'm talking about is at one point during John Cena's promo, we actually see the camera cut to Seth Rollins backstage getting ready to come out. So it's still left to question whether or not this was an intentional botch or an accidental botch. But I love the way that they passed it off on commentary. We saw a glimpse of the Shield, and JBL and Jerry Lawler were saying, did you see that? And Lawler was saying, yeah, I think so. So they actually played it off very well. I love the WWE did a good job of trying to cover up the fact that their camera crew kind of made a little snafu, a little boo-boo. But then we had the Shield come out. They attacked John Cena. John Cena, the big face of the crowd. The crowd was actually cheering him for once. Apparently the fans knew that Cena was a face and knew to cheer him, and weren't released on like some of these typical internet fans who want to get all sniffy about John Cena's gimmick and his character being stale and repetitive. Ergo, see Hulk Hogan, Ultimate Warrior, Undertaker, Rock, need I go on. But what really spoke volumes and what's really helped the storyline for Ryback to turn heel is for him to just stand there and let Cena get beat up, and the crowd was turning on him more and more. And Rick, I honestly believe having Ryback go out there and do nothing really helps the heel character for Ryback and really helps for the storyline of Ryback and Cena. Would you not agree?
Yeah, I would agree. Actually, after the show, we talked about why didn't Ryback go in afterwards and attack Cena afterwards and pick up the pieces, and you were kind of like, no, I don't think they should have. I think it was good they faded out because it was different from what Mark Henry's done, because Mark Henry's already done something similar to that, so it's a bit of a difference. So and I think the fact that they're making Ryback heel is kind of pretty good, because a lot of the fans are kind of just giving Ryback a hard time with the Goldberg chant. So maybe they're like, hey, look, if they're gonna give Ryback a hard time, fuck it, make him heel.
Exactly.
Let him embrace it.
Exactly. I'm gonna go ahead and give the segment a 4 out of 5. Overall score on Monday Night Raw this week gets a 4 out of 5. The Randy Orton Sheamus defeating Big Show I thought was okay, and possibly a close to the storyline, because now, well, maybe not, because later on we saw Sheamus try to cut a promo backstage, who then gets attacked again by Mark Henry. So now we have a matchup set for Friday Night SmackDown. Randy Orton and Sheamus team up to take on Big Show and Mark Henry. I wonder who would win in a KFC eating contest. That's all I got to say about that. The segment with 3MB and Brock Lesnar, again, props to Heath Slater. He sold off the two F5 bumps on the outside beautifully. And then the whole thing with Triple H challenging Triple H to a steel cage match, I thought was Well, we might have a future video on that with our thoughts about, is this the proper timing for another Lesnar Triple H match? Kofi Kingston defeating Antonio Cesaro for the United States title. In essence, I thought it was a decent match. As to WWE's reasonings for dropping the title off Cesaro, it's still left up in the air and up to debate. Dolph Ziggler cutting his promo, and then Alberto Del Rio coming out to kind of get his rematch, and then Swagger challenging him. It kind of played up the fact that at that point in time, we were all thinking triple threat match for the World Heavyweight title, and that's what it eventually led to. Team Hell No defeating the Primetime Players, a pretty much cut and dry tag team match. Can't say anything bad about it. Ryback's promo, I will give him a lot of credit for someone who never really cut that many promos in the WWE. He actually did a good job in this one. R-Truth defeating Wade Barrett, got to be considered major curveball of the night. Team Rhodes Scholars defeating Santino, Marella, and Great Khali, again, pretty much cut and dry. Fandango, I really wanted to see him play off the Fandango internet craze a little bit more, because his theme went to nearly the top of the charts in the UK on iTunes and here in the US, and I really wanted to see him play that off more than he did on last night's Monday Night Raw, but we just didn't see that. Jack Swagger defeating Dolph Ziggler, and then Del Rio attacking Swagger on the outside, and then led up to the Booker T announcement of the World Heavyweight title being involved in a triple threat match. Sometimes when wrestling becomes predictable, it becomes boring unless the execution is there. The execution was there for Ziggler, Swagger, and Del Rio. That's all I have to say about that. The CM Punk promo, a lot of fans can, it's left open to interpretation what some fans think. A lot of fans, what I saw on Facebook, they were saying that CM Punk's retiring. I don't agree with that. I think CM Punk's just taking time off to let his injuries heal. Nikki Bella defeating Caitlyn. I'm going to say this, whenever I see the Bellas and Caitlyn, that's a party for my eyeballs. That's all I'm going to tell you guys about that. And then the finale of Monday Night Raw, with John Cena's confrontation with Ryback, and then Cena being attacked by the Shield, really paid off dividends. It really helped contribute to Ryback turning heel, and the storyline between these two with Cena and Ryback with a possible confrontation and title match leading up into Extreme Rules. We still have a long ways to go, guys, until Extreme Rules, so it's going to be very interesting to see where they go next with Cena and Ryback. But as far as Monday Night Raw goes for this week, it gets a 4 out of 5 from me. Rick, I'm going to kick it over to you. Your overall score and thoughts on Monday Night Raw this week.
Like I said, for the most of the overall, I'd have to give it probably a 3.5 out of 5. A lot of great segments this week. I have to give the CM Punk was great. The Cena Ryback was great. The Dolph Ziggler and the Swagger and ADR. That triple threat, that whole segment is really starting to come together real nicely. As far as what's going on with Sheamus and Randy Orton and Big Show and Mark Henry, not sure what's going on with that. We don't know if we're going to split them up into two separate matches or a tag team, or if they're going to try to set them up for more tag teams for the tag team division. Overall, like I said, 4 out of 5.
So what we want to know now from you guys out there, the viewers and subscribers, your thoughts on Monday Night Raw this week. Be sure you put your comments in the comment section below. Don't forget to like and favorite this video. Guys, Rick Star's over on Hardcore Wrestling Radio every Wednesday night on blogtalkradio.com/Hardcore Wrestling Radio. Rick, what you got coming up this week?
Well, Hardcore Wrestling Radio is a little bit different from here. Hardcore Wrestling Radio is we're all about discussion. Of course, we're going to talk about Raw. We're going to talk about all the news that's going on. So, you know what? If you really know what's coming up, you're going to have to show up and get in on the conversation. We're live every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 7 o'clock Central. So just come on in and get in on the conversation.
And don't forget to please subscribe to youtube.com/WrestleGamer, guys. So, with that being said, for the Illuminous One, the Shining Star, Rick Star, I'm Double B Billy Boudreaux, saying thank you very much for watching.
Stoke answers. Stoke answers. Stoke answers. Stoke answers. Spiritual medium. Stoke answers. Stoke answers. I'm Haley. Ring Rose. Stoke answers.
My name's Andrew Weatherall.
Spiritual medium. Stoke answers.